So it turns out the CIA has been helping Ukraine since 2015 to fight against the Russians. No one is surprised. You see, the CIA has this unit called the Clandestine Unit, and pretty much they perform what's called black operations. This is the most secretive of government operations that can be done in a military context. Paramilitaries in the CIA is really an unknown thing to many people. Many people perceive the CIA as guys in suits and ties, and they sit around in an office and sometimes they spy on people. These paramilitaries, or these clandestine units, they go out on the front lines. They train paramilitary units how to fight against the enemies of the United States. And so, a quick bit of context, even in Afghanistan, the very first casualty in the Afghanistan conflict was a CIA member in one of these paramilitary units or clandestine units. So, back to the CIA leak. Apparently, there's been a leak from several members of a clandestine unit in the CIA, and they wanted to tell their side of the story, apparently. So, it says right here on Yahoo News, of all publications, the CIA paramilitaries taught their Ukrainian counterparts sniper techniques, how to operate U.S.-supplied Javelin anti-tank missiles and other equipment, how to evade digital tracking the Russians used to pinpoint the locations of Ukrainian troops, which had left them vulnerable to attacks by artillery, how to use covert communications tools, how to remain undetected in war zone while also drawing out Russian insurgent forces from their positions, among other skills according to former officials. So, this is honestly, again, not that big of news. The weird thing is this. Back in 2015, at the exact same time, apparently, when this operation was going down, on the opposite side of Ukraine, on the western portion, there was a public training exercise from the 173rd Airborne Brigade. Some context. Back in 2014, when the Russians all of a sudden annexed and invaded Crimea and other portions of Ukraine, the United States wanted to show their muscles, and they sent in a airborne brigade on the opposite portion of Ukraine to train the Ukrainians on engineering techniques, counter ambush operations, pretty much the same exact things that was happening on the eastern portion of Ukraine where these paramilitaries were training. So, a lot of this probably did happen and does make sense. It's very surprising to think that we can just send all these javelins over to Ukraine and they are just doing totally fine on how to operate these American-made equipment. Even for myself in the U.S. military, we had javelins in our equipment rooms, but we even had to spend a decent amount of time on how to train to use javelins, how to operate a javelin, stuff like that. So it's actually amazing how well Ukraine is doing against the Russians using American equipment, also British equipment, and the British have been there publicly as well. So again, take this with a grain of salt. When the CIA ever leaks something, they either are doing it on purpose to try swaying public perception, or it's completely fake and Yahoo News is just trying to get some clickbait. Let me know what you guys think. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe. In my opinion, I think it's probably true, considering the CIA, literally since the Cold War, have been everywhere. Their job is to figure out exactly what the Russians are doing. How can we stop the Russians in any possible way? That's the job of the CIA. And if you really want to learn more about the CIA paramilitary operations, leave a comment and let me know if you want me to make a video about that, because it's a very interesting section of the CIA. It's not talked about a lot because it's so secret. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Paramilitaries in Ukraine.